for them to buy, and it's a good way to launch a product. Tell us the Indiegogo story of how you couldn't get on Kickstarter then when you're Indiegogo.
Yeah, so I'd spent a lot of time with, again, I had different e-commerce businesses and helped my business partner started a wallet company that did $100,000 on Kickstarter. And so I just studied Kickstarter. We knew Kickstarter in and out. We knew that if Movement got on Kickstarter, it would have been $1 million campaign. And at the time, Kickstarter had this ego to it that they only allowed, really innovative products.
Wow.
And which was kind of ridiculous. You had to kind of it was really a marketing play. There was this one sweatshirt that did $1 million that I can't even
I remember that sweatshirt.
Yeah, and it was just the 10-year hoodie is what it was called, but it was shit, and it was just a marketing ploy. But when we tried to do watches, they denied us, and we rebutted, and they denied us again, and they wouldn't tell us why. And we were like, what do we do? We're basically screwed. And we knew about Indiegogo, but it's where crowdfunding projects went to die was on Indiegogo. It's just a graveyard.
Or the second campaign.
Yeah, exactly. It was just they're not legitimate. It's not going to work. But yeah, we went and did the exact same playbook, and I think because we had studied so much, we ended up doing. We had a 30-day campaign. We ended up doing $200,000 in 30 days.
That's beast.
And then we went to and then we relaunched another campaign just because we had more people who wanted to buy. But it was growth hacking. Just we were just doing stuff to boost ourselves up higher on the page. Just stuff that you do when you don't have any capital and you just have to be scrappy, as you guys know. So
I love it. I think too many people try to raise too fast and then they don't know what works and they're just throwing money at problems. And that discipline of just kind of spending efficiently. You guys, I remember one of the pieces of advice you gave me when I started on is you guys only spent money on direct response marketing, which you could tell if it had a good or bad return. Walk us through kind of that methodology through the first couple of years of the business.
Yeah, so year one we did $1 million and didn't spend $1 on marketing. But I remember as that year came to a close, I said, I don't know how I'm going to grow this business if we don't figure out other avenues. And you looked at Google and you looked at Facebook and Twitter, and Facebook seemed to be the place that some other brands that you were a little bit more familiar with were putting money. So I basically took this YouTube course and just forum and learned how to do Facebook marketing. We went from $1 million that first year to 7 million that second year, just because of acquisition and the same principles that applied in acquisition, marketing on Facebook, we applied to Google and other areas, then podcasts, everything else. But it was the early days where we were very efficient. I think it was $15 to get a person to buy a watch. Not massively scalable, but scalable enough to get $7 million in revenue.
It's beast.
So it was
and back then there was, that was even more, I feel than in today's world.
Oh yeah, but no one knew. Literally, at one point we said, "Do we make an Instagram or do we make a Twitter?" It was because Twitter was around for so long, no one knew. The word influencer did not exist. We said, "Could we pay this person to post for us?" We didn't even know if they'd be interested, who they were.
Because this was back in 2014.
I think it was 2014.
Wow.
So it was just, I think, you needed to kind of use your, use the psychology of where the customer was going, what platform they were using, just based off of us, because we were the customer, 23 years old, 23-year-old kids. So
that's so rad.